Sawadee krap, good evening, and welcome to Sunday in Thailand. This is the July 9th, 2023 edition of Sunday in Thailand with me, Varin Sachadeo, your host. This is the weekly news roundup in English for global or international audience curious about what's happening in Thailand in the past week. Well, the past week has seen frequent rainfalls, but there are still many heated issues concerning the nominations and appointment of House Speaker and his deputies. The voting for the House Speaker was smooth sailing, though the nomination for Deputy Speaker of the House faced a little challenge with competition between Move Forward Party and Ruom Thai Sang Chat. The nominee from Move Forward had an easy win, so Move Forward Party has had an important position secured. But please note, it is Deputy Speaker who needs to follow the House Speaker's lead. But as soon as veterinarian Padipat won the title of Deputy House Speaker, he started giving information about how the voting procedure for Prime Minister was to be conducted. The decision that is supposed to be finalized by the House Speaker. It seemed too far-fetched that Mr. Chun Lik Pai, 2 times former Prime Minister and recent House Speaker, had to step out to remind him in public that any decision regarding the voting for Prime Minister had to be announced by the elected House Speaker, Mr. Wan Muhammad Normatha. In other words, he's crossing the line and not acting like a professional. Parliamentary pet nuisance aside, the nomination and voting for Prime Minister is scheduled for July 13th, this coming Thursday. Mr. Pita, leader of the Move Forward Party, is naturally the main contender, but other parties may nominate somebody else to compete. The winner must have a minimum of 376 votes out of a total of 750 votes from members of parliament, the upper and the lower houses combined. Yet on Thursday, July 6, Mr. Pita, Prime Minister, created a big buzz among the public as he tweeted to Taylor Swift to invite her to come to Thailand to perform a concert as part of the World Tour 2023. This action has created a huge wave of criticism as he referred to Swift's Bangkok concert in 2014 that was cancelled due to the military coup. Due to the coup, curfew was exercised to prevent huge group gatherings. Sadly, a concert is unavoidably a huge gathering of people. Not only Taylor Swift's Red Tour that had to be cancelled, a lot of local and international events were also postponed to later dates or cancelled. But law and order were restored not long after the incident, and hundreds of concerts have been performed in Bangkok and other cities in the past 8 years. The exact word that Pita used in his tweet that made a lot of people furious is the word coup, as in coup d'etat. The original tweet reads, "Hey Taylor, big fan of yours. By the way, Thailand is back on track to be fully democratic after you had to cancel last time due to the coup. The Thai people have spoken via the election, and we all look forward to welcoming you to this beautiful nation of ours. Do come, and I'll be singing Lavender Haze with you." Signed, Tim. The negative reaction from a large number of people who are not fans or supporters of Pita is triggered by Pita's deliberate use of description to disgrace Thailand by saying Thailand is back on track to be fully democratic, because Thailand has been democratic with a democratically elected government and Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha for the past 4 years, a complete term for a government which is not often seen in Thailand. Now, please note that this is the democratic government from a democratic election that sent Mr. Pita himself into the parliament as an MP, or the members of the parliament. More on this with our commentator Pat Sangtham, but first, we would like to take you to a friendship concert to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Kosovo-Thai relations. Year 2023 marks the 10th anniversary of Kosovo-Thai relations, and we are celebrating it with music.
It's the best way to give people a message that music is without boundaries. You know, it's other dimension of life, and we really need to hear more and to promote more. Both of our countries, even you coming to Kosovo, it would be great. So we need that. We need that. We have to really exchange our cultures and our artists in the same way. This is what people should know each other.
Thai-Kosovo Friendship Concert is a collaboration between Royal Bangkok Symphony Orchestra, or RBSO, and Kosovo Philharmonic Orchestra, featuring Toshio Yanagisawa as guest conductor, award-winning soprano Besa Lugici, and violinist Sihana Baldivuku. How is it performing with RBSO?
It was pleasure, such a pleasure. They're great musicians, great people, and I already told them all the time that really it's such a pleasure working with such an orchestra. And they're helpful with you, always on time, always prepared, always collaborating. It's easy, it's beautiful. Well, the last song was the one. Believe me, this is our great song and one of those songs that you really want to promote and give people as a present to hear, because it's a symbol of our culture. The text is always explaining our nature and the way of living and the beauty of our country, and the music as well. It was a great composer, Reggio Mulici. He really knew about our folk song, and he knew how to make them even greater in a best way, composing those songs. So I think they really choose the best version of the song to promote. Even though that it's written only for soprano, they really want to arrange for a lot of instruments so they can become well known around the world.
And joining me now is Kun Pat Sangtham, the editor-in-chief of benchmarkmedia.asia and also my co-editor on Thailand Morning Call, our Thai news show on Nomad Media Thailand channel. Kun Pat, so now music is being dragged into politics. So what do we make of it?
Well, music has always been dragged into politics and is usually done by those who don't have any substance to talk about politics purely. And so, are we talking tabloid today or are we talking music?
Well, I think we should be imagining how Taylor Swift would react to this tweet.
Well, first of all, I don't think she knows who Pita is. Okay, so it's one of thousands of comments that she received. And even if she has an assistant to help her go through comments and remarks, I don't think they'll be able to tell because his handler, his name is Pita MFP. And as you can see, if you go through all the comments and response that she get, some of them say, who is this guy? I don't think it's gonna have an impact on Taylor Swift at all.
What would you think is the motive of Kunpitha for doing this?
Well, I'm surprised that he's still playing these games. We talked about his strategic communication several times before. And at this time, when he's got a lot of pressure and he is uncertain how the voting for prime minister will go in the parliament next week. So he needs to make some noise. And I think that to get into Twitter and left a message like that is just to find a place where he could say something about his vision. And that is done by referring to what has happened in Thailand. And so mentioning the coup is just to tell his followers that we're going to enter a new administration. And, we should remember that in the past several years, Thailand has been under the coup, which is misleading because he has been a member of parliament himself from the general election in 2019. So if Thailand has been a military government, how can he be around?
Exactly. So this is another classic case of misinformation and also disinformation. He's actually referring to a coup, which is not really correct because, we had the election, as you mentioned, in 2019. And Taylor Swift, being a celebrity, a world-class celebrity, and to attach himself to a celebrity like this. And there were also some comments about the appropriateness of one who's becoming or about to be nominated as a prime minister of the country, and behaving like this. Is it appropriate, or are we old-fashioned, or how should it be?
Well, it's a shame, because he has come this far. Whether he's gonna be successful with prime minister voting, the parliamentary proceeding next week or not, he has to shape up. He cannot just act like a teenager who's trying to show his vision and capacity to run the country. So I would have prepared myself to act respectfully and talk about the big picture of the country, some projects and policies that would push the country forward. Let's say in 6 days, if I'm going to stand in the parliament, and trying to get people to vote for me so that I'll become a prime minister, I would not go into Twitter and send messages to celebrities and saying something like, okay, now our country is fully democratic, because it's been democratic for the reason that he's around, he's participated in all political activities, with the credit of being member of parliament. So it's contradictory, it's just not credible.
I think, tweeting or saying hi to Taylor would have been enough without, mentioning the coup or the politics. That should have been nicer or more appropriate. I mean, it's fine because it's a generational thing, and this generation grew up with social media, or well, across the board actually. Even the older generation are online now, are on social media now. So to actually tweet or retweet messages is normal, but I think my concern was mentioning of the politics for no that doesn't really justify.
Yes, it's only natural for a real fan to tweet to their idols, or, the people that they're fascinated with. But it's very obvious that his message is intended to discredit Thailand by saying that, okay, the last time you were scheduled here, you had to cancel the concert. Actually, Taylor herself didn't cancel the concert. The promoter did, because it wasn't convenient to let the concert run while the country exercise some curfew, in for for the sake of security. They didn't allow people to gather in a large group, and of course a concert would draw tens of thousands of people. And other artists also cancel their concerts, but they return. Okay. So in this case, his message is to discredit the country, and you wouldn't do that. Imagine other presidents or prime ministers, leaders of other country, tweet to a famous vocalist, singers, band leader, or Hollywood actress, just to say that, oh, come visit our country. Our country is democratic. At the other end, when they receive this kind of message, they would say, who's this guy? This is very silly, and entertainers, celebrities, they have that Twitter account or social media account is part of their PR, their promotion. They don't want people to come in and kind of kill joy by drawing their work or their music into politics. So it's, unthought of,
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think. It's distorting of the information as well. Yes, the concert was canceled because that year they had a coup, and law and order wasn't in place yet. But then after that, there were many artists who came for a concert in Thailand, even during the coup time. Right. I mean, yeah. I mean, and also we had the election in 2019, and then right after we had COVID. So that means, during the coup, before the election, many artists came.
Yeah. I mean, after the coup was staged, law and order and peace were restored very fast. Within the same year, a lot of international performers came back to Thailand, and through the past 8 or 9 years, we have seen very, very famous groups and musicians and people come to perform in Thailand. I mean, including Bruno Mars, Madonna, Imagine Dragons, you name it, hundreds of them. Okay, so what would they say that, if Taylor Swift call them up and ask them about Thailand. And these performers who have come to Thailand would have said, it was great. We had a lot of fun. And if asked, what about the coup? They would have said, what coup? You
Mm.
know? So that's what I said is not very well thought out. This
Mm.
strategy to discredit Thailand, just
Mm.
very juvenile.
And these politicians who are against the coup has been very consistent in not being able to state or give a reason, why the military had to stage a coup. Isn't it because of the behavior of the politicians, the corruption, and dragging people to the street, and we were on the verge of getting a bloodshed on the street. That's why the coup took place.
It's part of the plan to brainwash not only their followers, but they want to brainwash the Western media and the people around the world who have not paid close attention to what's going on to Thailand. Some of the news later said that the military coup was warmly welcomed because the reason for the coup was to prevent the bloodshed because the demonstration and the protest was violently elevated. There was shooting on the street on the main road. Dozens of people were killed. And so if the military didn't step in, imagine, we have just seen the situation in France, in Paris, and of course, a lot of people were relieved when the military stepped in to stop this violence and bloodshed and killing. And so that's why when General Prayut, the leader of the coup,
Mm.
uh, was elected to be the prime minister, that proved the satisfaction of the people. So
Mm.
they didn't really care what system, democratic or dictator running country whatsoever. What's important is the quality of life
Mm.
and the peace and security that they need in
Mm.
everyday life. So that's the proof that nobody can argue. And I guess the world could accept that also because progress has been seen and admired. Thailand began to make high ranking, which was made by credible institutions and media around the world. So they were those who were still talking about the coup and dictatorship. They were afraid that the popularity of General Prayut in particular would not fade away. So
Mhm.
they kept repeating this is
Mm.
just to brainwash their own supporters.
And I'm also very curious to hear what they have to say, when Macron, a French president, now is considering, banning the access to social media to calm down, or to minimize the damages or the violence on the streets of France. But they've been very quiet because I mean, especially certain politicians in Thailand, I mean, they look up to the ideology of, France as the beacon of democracy. But now what do they have to say, when Macron is limiting or trying to limit the access to social media? He's now being
It's
compared. He's now being compared to the regime of China, Iran, and such countries.
It's ironic, isn't it? Because they have been quoting what has happened in France and how France is such a role model for a democratic society. And when Macron uh, decided to have a strict control of social media, they kept their mouth shut because, of course, they cannot live without social media here.
Mm.
And the chance that the Thai government, the current government, would do that is very unlikely. And even if Pita became prime minister, he wouldn't do that because social media was his weapon. It's his important tool to have control over his supporters.
Social media, and then it get picked up by Thai media. What do you make of Thai media being so crazy about this? Pita tweeting Taylor Swift.
Well, sometimes you don't even know if the Thai media, Thai reporters, or the Thai news anchor are real human being. It could be IO or robots because they lack the human ability. We have been listening to political analysis for the past 2 months, and these analysis, both for Thai politics as well as the Ukraine, Russia, and international issues, they just kind of read from what Western media say. They have no analytical ability. So watch out when you're, reading or watching the Thai media or, hear something from the Thai reporters. Maybe it's not real human being. Maybe it's AI,
You never know. We'll leave it at that. And that's a wrap for this week's edition of Sunday in Thailand. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing to Nomad Media Thailand. And thank you once again for sharing the link to all your friends who are curious about what's happening in Thailand, especially the global audience, international audience. I'm signing off. Kun Pat Sang Tham and I myself, Warin Sachadeo. We are signing off and we look forward to seeing you back next Sunday. Swadee krap.
Swadee krap.